We're ready now for 165 pounds. Jonathan Reeder from Iowa State.
Right.
Going up against Rendos. Andy Rendos, first Bucknell wrestler to compete in the NWCA Classic. We've had a couple of firsts now. American University's first, Bucknell University's first. Number 5 ranked John Reeder going up against number 6 Andy Rendos. And Reeder has actually beaten Rendos a couple of times, both at the NCAA championships, once in 2008, once in 2009.
Well, there's got to be confidence here on John Reeder's part. He's been a fun guy to watch throughout the years, and you see Kevin Jackson's new coach at Iowa State University, coming back to the alma mater. Not much room to work with here. They're up at the edge of the mat, but John Reeder, a lot of success here in his career.
Jonathan Reeder is a two-time All-American.
Two-time All-American.
Championships in 2009.
On a quest to become a national champion.
An overall record of 30-8.
Reeder is called by his new coach, Kevin Jackson, who sits in the corner, two-time world champion, Olympic champion Kevin Jackson, now at his alma mater, Iowa State. And he wrestled for you, Jim, when you were the head coach at Iowa State. John Reeder with the takedown there, but Kevin Jackson calls him the emotional leader. He's the guy. He says John Reeder is the man, and he must have seen something when he was working with him for the Pan Ams here recently, and he sees a man that he wants leading a squad.
Well, I'm real big on that. I think you got to identify that person real early, and Kevin Jackson was that person for me at Iowa State, which was kind of unique because he transferred in from LSU and they dropped their program, and so Kevin redshirted in our program for a year, and so we had a bunch of guys that were experienced that maybe had underachieved to that point, and we had a bunch of three young guys that were in the sophomore class that we knew that they had great potential, but Kevin was kind of the bridge between that group, and that's why the year we won it.
If you just joined us, we're at 165 pounds.
Yeah, if you saw that
Andrew Rendos.
he was we had 5 guys in the finals. Kevin was one of them. He lost to a great wrestler in Royce Alger that year, but he helped every one of those guys become a national champion in my mind.
Well, he's helped a lot of wrestlers become champions from a standpoint of the international experience. For 11 years, he was involved in the USA Wrestling's development, 8 years as the head coach for freestyle, and he may not have had a lot of college experience as far as a coach, but he has got program building experience.
Well, people don't recognize it. He was on my staff for 5 years. He's got college wrestling and coaching experience, and he's got world. Every one of these wrestlers that comes into your program wants to be an Olympic champion or world champion. That's part of the allure of taking somebody that has Kevin's success. But he has had the experience there. Now, has he been a recruiter, is whatever, but you know what? You can get guys to come to Iowa State to wrestle because it's been done there.
And when you're a two-time world champion and Olympic champion, you can get guys to come to your school.
No question about it. So he's not going to have difficulty with that. So good person. And it'll be fun. So I know a lot of people are excited about having Kevin back in the program.
Iowa State with 4 entries, actually 3 that are active. Nick Gallick not in because he was a late scratch due to injury. Last time Iowa State had 4 in the NWCA All Star meet was 1992 when you were the coach, Jim, and Kevin's brother Torrey Jackson was one of them.
Well, they had a heck of, it was in Iowa City, I believe, if I recall. And boy, Torrey had a heck of a match with Terry Steiner. And crowd of maybe about 14,000 people just going nuts. It was like 11 to 10 match. I think Steiner pulled it out. You probably did the meet for another network.
Well, those kind of crowds, that kind of excitement happens in Big Ten country.
It really does. So Big Ten country is where it's at as far as the following in the sport and like that rivalry between the Big Ten and the Big 12 was evident there, but great matches. I just loved, again, I had such a positive experience myself as an athlete coming to this meet that I really wanted my athletes to be a part of this year. And a lot of times, unfortunately, I had one rule that if you wrestled in it, you had to come back and wrestle for us. If it was a day later or 2 days later, you couldn't just go to this thing and then camp out for a while. You had to come back and wrestle in our competitions. And by and large, most of the guys didn't have a problem with that.
Andy Rendos from Bucknell finished 5th at the NCAA's last year.
Once again, wrestling fans,
The bright orange singlet with the green anklet. Of course, the Iowa State, with the big Iowa State on the back there. Red anklet.
1 minute in second period. 1 minute.
Reader working off that underhook. Rendos is just a good scrambler. He just like a lot of wrestlers, he's got his hips tied up right there. Reader's hooked the bottom leg, which is important right here. Now he'll reach over and probably work for a
45 seconds in the second period.
There's 2 and back. Nope. 2 points takedown, no back points.
What's important about that situation, you hook the bottom leg, then you clear off the head,
30 seconds
and
in
you
the
reach
second
back
period,
and try to
30
go ahead and get the crossface, and more times than not, the guy will give up that position where he's locked in the crotch. So that's a good finish.
A shutout being thrown here by John Reeder, the Davison High School in Davison, Michigan product. A lot of great wrestlers, Brent Metcalf, Donahoe, an NCAA champion, and others coming out of Davison High School. John Reeder, a junior, going up against the senior Andy Rendos.
Andrew Rendos and Bucknell have a choice.
Not too many Bucknell wrestlers throughout the years have made it to this event.
He's number one.
He's number one.
He's
so
the first Bucknell wrestler ever to be in the All Stars. And last year at this weight class, he upset Steve Dwyer from Nebraska in the NCAAs and went on to become an All-American. Well, Dwyer is going in the All Star Classic here at the next weight class, moving up. But Rendos, an All-American, just being a little outclassed right now, early on in the season by John Reeder, who already has taken steps to improve under Kevin Jackson. It's obvious.
Yeah, no question. But you know, Bucknell, the program there, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. I think about that program. How can you not think about Bobby Ferraro? You know, the great wrestler in his own right, person who loves the sport, and probably was as active as any coach in the National Wrestling Coaches Association. So.
Well, and Rendos was the first All-American since his son, Bobby Ferraro, was an All-American in the early 90s. For Bucknell. 6-1 in favor of John Reeder, Iowa State's junior leader, and he is a man that is, since he's coming in the program, he's had one thing on his mind, and that's to win an NCAA championship. But like you said, that's the mindset of these top programs.
Really is, and I think he's been in a position to be able to do that a couple times, and just, you know,
1 minute in the third period. 1 minute.
That match or that sequence of seconds that were just kind of uncharacteristic to what we've seen earlier in the season. But you know, you take a look at those great matches that he had with Ryan Morningstar in the NCAA. He's also the national the Memphis tournament. Oh, there's a dive by Rendos. Not bringing his hips to the party, basically just diving out on this chest.
2 points takedown for Reeder, a 1 point escape for Rendos. Reeder, a 2-time All-American, but also we mentioned that he was a silver medal winner at 163 pounds, 74 kilos at the 2009 Pan American Games. And I think that's where Coach Jackson saw something in him that he was just really excited about to have at the center of his program. And especially you're a junior. You're not a senior walking out this year. You're someone that you can build your philosophy around.
Yeah, and I think there is a difference in philosophy there as far as, Kevin and maybe what Cale's doing, but haven't really identified that yet. But I think it's okay to be coached by a number of different people. And Cale's going to be, Cale's going to be a little bit more on staying offensive all the way through the match. And not to say that Cale wasn't, but really putting a lot of pressure on him to be offensive.
And that's what John Reeder was, offensive all the way through. A 10-2 win for John Reeder at 165. And we'll go away just for a second. We'll be right back for more exciting college wrestling action from the NWCA All Star meet here on the campus of Cal State Fullerton.